Hi, I'm Janelle Diller, and I'm the author of the Australia, Austria, and Mexico books in the Pack-n-Go Girls Adventures series. If you haven't discovered Pack-n-Go Girls yet, you'll want to. They are just so much fun. They are all spooky mysteries, and they're all about American girls who go to another country and meet a girl from that country, and together they have an adventure. So it's about discovering ghosts and Austrian castles, chasing space aliens in Australia, discovering thieves in Mexico, and saving dolphins and turtles in Brazil, and discovering hidden lost treasure in Thailand. And along the way, you get to know a little bit about the countries, and they're just a lot of fun, so I hope you discover them. Right now, I'm sitting in Kitzbühel, Austria, which is so much fun for me. It's one of my favorite places in Europe to be. And it's where the Austria series came from. So, Mystery of the Ballerina Ghost, the second book, Mystery of the Secret Room, and Mystery at the Christmas Market. And these three books are all about Brooke Mason, who travels from Colorado to Kitzbühel, Austria, and meets Eva Mueller. But before I start reading the second book, which is Mystery of the Secret Room, I have to show you what Kitzbühel looks like. It's such a beautiful little spot in the world. It looks a lot like Colorado. And right now it's winter, which is a great time to be here because there is world-class skiing. Not just world-class, but World Cup skiing on the slopes of Kitzbühel. So if you can just see the mountains, lots of snow right now. You can hear the birds. It's actually a really beautiful day. A lot of people are on the slopes across the mountain. And in fact, if you look over there at the ski slopes there, that's a lot like what Brooke and Eva would see from Schloss Mueller. So keep that in mind as we read the next book. So, Mystery of the Secret Room. Now, I'm going to start reading, and I want you to know that even though I wrote this and I made sure the German was correct, it doesn't mean my German is really good, and that's okay. I can still have fun reading the book, and you can have fun reading the book too, even if you don't know a word of German. So don't let that scare you away from reading. Chapter 1, Rainy Day Games. Ach, 19. Ich komme. Here I come. Brooke could barely hear Ava's voice as it drifted up the stairs into the attic. She should be tucked away by now in a secret hiding place, but she was still frantically looking for a good spot. She carefully moved some boxes to crouch behind. A spider darted across the now empty space. She jumped back and whispered, "Yikes!" Her heart pounded, thump, thump, thump. Did Eva hear her jump? She held her breath and listened for her friend's footsteps on the stairs. The only sound was the rain tap, tap, tapping on the window. A door screeched open on the floor below, and Eva called in a sing-songy voice, "Wo bist du?" Where are you? Brooke was happy her German was getting better. Eva had been teaching her phrases, which was a good thing. If she was going to spend time with her Austrian friend, she should be able to speak a little German. It sounded like Eva had moved away from the attic door. That gave her a few more minutes to hide. But where? The cluttered room had a gazillion dark corners and even more shadows. White sheets covered furniture shapes. They seemed to glow in the gray afternoon light. If Brooke would cross my heart, hope to die honest. It was a little too spooky. Even though Ava's ballerina ghost had turned out to be a trick Eva played, Brooke still remembered how scary it was to see the ghost in the attic window. After all, if a ghost did live in Schloss Mueller, this dusty old space would be the perfect place for it to hang out. Maybe she shouldn't have come up here to hide after all. Too late now? She should have thought about this earlier, but she and Eva had hidden in all the good places already. The attic seemed like such a smart idea when Brooke was on the floor below, where the windows were big, and the noises were friendly, and there weren't so many creepy, eepy shadows. Brooke sighed. She opened the door of a tall wooden cabinet. Clothes. She should have guessed it was some kind of a closet. Then it struck her. It was a wardrobe, like in The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe. She sniffed. The sharp, woody scent reminded her of a closet in her grandma's house where she kept her winter sweaters. She closed the door and glanced around the room again. Surely somewhere in this room was a great hiding place. Wo bist du? Ava's voice sounded like she was at the foot of the attic stairs. What if she noticed the door was slightly open? The attic door creaked. Too late. Ich weiß, dass du hier oben bist. I know you're up here. Brooke only had 3 seconds. She yanked open the wardrobe door again and scrambled in. Better in here, she thought, than where the spiders live. Ever so quietly, she pulled the door shut behind her and tucked into a corner. A silky fur coat draped down over her, and a man's hat tumbled into her lap. Ava's footsteps crept up the attic stairs. Brooke? Her voice shook a little. Are you here? Brooke giggled and sighed. This might be fun after all. Ava would never find her snuggled into this close closet. She felt safe from spiders and ghosts for the moment. Her back rested firmly against the side of the closet. She might even have the courage to say, "Boo!" if Ava opened the door. She giggled again and sighed. She could hear Ava poking around the room. Boxes scraped on the floor. Once she heard Ava shriek, "Ah!" Ah, Brooke thought. She found her spider. She scooted around carefully to get more comfortable. Several boards were missing along the back of the wardrobe. When she leaned back again between the missing boards, her head bumped something, a knob of some kind. Quietly, she felt for it in the dark. It was smooth and round, and about the size of a golf ball. It turned easily, just like a small doorknob. How odd, Brooke thought. Doorknobs are for the outside of closets, not the inside. Cautiously, she pulled on the knob. A door, really it was just half of a door, opened. Brooke had an uneasy flash. Wasn't this how Lucy ended up in Narnia? Oddly enough, it wasn't dark. Brooke could see a tiny bit of light, like there was a window far beyond the door. Well, she thought, at least it's not snowing in there. It can't be Narnia. She immediately felt silly for such a thought, and maybe a little disappointed. The clothes in the wardrobe pressed against the door, but she still tugged it open a tiny bit further. It took a minute for her eyes to adjust to the dim light. Was it just a small empty room? It had to be more. The light had to come from somewhere. Why would there be an old wardrobe in front of a door to another room? What a perfect hiding spot, Brooke thought, except I'm too chicken to explore it. Brooke? A floorboard squeaked on the far side of the room. I see footprints in the dust. I know you're up here. I'm not giving up. The words sounded brave. I can be brave too, thought Brooke. She sighed and sighed because even as she thought it, she doubted it. Come out now, Ava said. Brooke could hear her stomp her foot. I know you're more scared at the dark than I am. Brooke didn't care if that was true. How dare she say that? She'd show her. She shoved the little door open far enough to squeeze through. She slipped into the space and softly closed the door behind her. Again, her heart thumped. Slowly, her eyes got used to the low light. She seemed to be in a long and very narrow room, no wider than a couch. Above her, the low ceiling slanted toward what must be an outside wall. She thought she could almost stand up straight on the short side of the wall, but she couldn't touch the ceiling on the high side. Up ahead, she could see light coming in from about halfway down the room. Dusty sheets covered shapes of all sizes, just like it was in the rest of the attic. They lined the wall just like ghostly soldiers. Brooke felt dizzy from her heart pounding so hard. But she kept through the narrow room toward the light. Where was it coming from? She bumped against a sheet-covered box. It tumbled to the floor, clanking like a bunch of silverware. On the other side of the wardrobe, Ava called to her, Brooke, I hear you. Where are you? You sound like you're in the wall. Her voice didn't sound so brave anymore. Brooke barely heard her, though. Only a few more steps. Carefully, she felt her way through the dim hallway until she reached where the light came from. When she turned the corner, she couldn't believe her eyes. A shiver ran from the top of her head to the tip of her toes. "Oh my," she said, barely breathing. "Brooke, are you okay? Where are you?" "Eva," she shouted back to her friend, "you won't believe what I just discovered." What do you think Brooke discovered? Now, I'll tell you, there's a hint in the title of the book. It's a secret room. But what's in that secret room? What will Brooke and Eva discover, and what kind of a mystery will they have to solve? I hope you find this book and have a lot of fun, and then follow up with Mystery at the Christmas Market, where the story continues.